Hi, welcome to another tutorial. In this case, I'm going to explain how to incorporate GeoFire into Swift. Okay, tutorials about GeoFire into Swift are not very well expanded, so it's really great if you can follow my tutorial here, so you can use freely GeoFire in your project. So first of all, I will show you how I incorporated it using Cocoa Pods. If you want to use Cocoa Pods for now in the version that we're working on, the best solution is to directly download the API itself from the GitHub repository of GeoFire. Okay, this is how we add it to our project. This is the way we have to do it. Once we add it here, we can go to the shell and execute pod install. It will install all the components necessary. In my case, I already installed it, but still. And in this case, as you can see, it will install the GeoFire 2.0. Okay, great. Once it's done, we have to ensure that the component is also targeted. Okay, it's important to understand that, because until now, it's a small problem, it's small bug that we have to fix is here to choose the Firebase database framework and tell him that we are targeting the GeoFire. Okay, it's also good to add that we target the Google Toolbox for Mac, just in case, because if not, you will have a small error that it doesn't recognize here. If I'm not mistaken, it's here. It will say that it doesn't recognize this. Okay, so it's important that you target in the Firebase database framework, you target GeoFire. Okay, great. Now if you execute, you should see no errors at all. Okay, so we incorporated GeoFire with using Cocoa Pods. We added the target in the framework of the database to GeoFire. Hopefully in the future they will fix it so we don't have to do it by ourselves. Okay, great. Now we go into our programming section. Okay, so we want to add the GeoFire functionalities to our app. Okay, so first of all, we have to define the necessary variables so it can work correctly. Okay, first of all, we will import the GeoFire package. Okay, if the target thing, if you didn't do the target correctly, the target the target membership definition, if you didn't do that, if you jump this step, you won't be able to import the GeoFire. So if for some reason the GeoFire is not correctly imported or it doesn't show in the list, it's because you didn't put here the target to target GeoFire itself. Okay, so this fix is required if we want to work with GeoFire in this moment for this version. Okay, so we continue. First of all, we will define the let GeoFire reference, which will be exactly like this reference here. Okay, like a normal database reference. What it will mean? Well, let's put it as a variable. It has to be as a variable. Okay, so what's important to understand about this? Okay, so why do I do that? Because GeoFire, when you configure GeoFire, for those who never work with GeoFire, you have to point to a path, okay, where you want the points to be stored, okay, and the queries to execute, and that path is just like another Firebase database reference path. Okay, great. Besides that, I'm going to add I will also define the GeoFire variable itself will be of type GeoFire. Okay, this one is important because it's here. It's the admin object. That's the one who will have all the functions and methods to execute queries and add points to the GeoFire path in the database. Okay, where do I initialize them? Here. Okay, I will initialize it here, and it will be the first one is just like this one here. It's fair database. In this case, it's database. It's updated. Database that reference. That I'm gonna put it into. I will point to a child. Okay, that child gonna be in. It's gonna be inside Swift tutorial. Okay, I can put another child. Well, let's put the path itself here. So inside the Swift tutorial, it's going to be called GeoLock. Well, it's put with an S. Okay, so inside that Swift tutorial is going to be a path. It's going to be one of the sub positions, and they're going to have all the list of all the positions that I'm interested in, those locations. Okay, on this path, we're going to work. We're going to add the points and the points of interest and request them. Okay, it's important to understand that this can also be combined differently. I mean, in this case, I'm positioning all the points in the same place in my database, but you can also do it differently. You can point it to the users, for example, a that each user has its own locations attribute. I mean, sub path, so you can also combine it in many different ways. Okay, secondly, I have to also initialize the GeoFire. So GeoFire, once I have the path defined, I can call that path and put it in GeoFire reference. Okay, so now this object knows where to write and read all the positions. Okay, which is in this position. Great. So let's take it. Let's make a test run with this. Okay. Just to make some tests, I'm going to let's try it. Yeah, because I'm not sure if I have to be authenticized. I mean, logged on into the app. So let's do that when the login when this one appears. Let's make an insert of a position. Okay, just to make a test to see if it appears in this class here. So what I will do is call data holder that shared instance that GeoFire. Wait. Sorry. Okay, GeoFire. And now I'm going to execute, for example, to insert set location. Okay. I'm going to put a location in that place in the database. How does it work? So to insert my location here, I will create a new location. But before I create a new location, I will define a couple of degrees, okay, variables for latitude and longitude. So lat will be CL degree, location degree, degrees equals, let's say 34.79, and then you have let long CL location degrees equal 12.34. There we go. Okay. And when I create my location, let my location of type city location, I will add here. We'll say that I want to create it with the latitude and longitude degrees, lat and long of longitude. And then we're going to put it here, which is there already. Great. Now, for the key, it's important to understand we can put anything here. Okay, my lock. We can put any kind of key we want to associate to this position. Now, my suggestion is for you to use the same key that is going to be associated to the component in the database that you want to control by location. For example, if we want to know the user's location constantly, I recommend to use the user's ID as key. So each time you select, you want to know the position of the user, just ask GeoFire for the position with that key. Or if I want to know which users are around me, I just tell GeoFire, tell me all the keys that are around me on a 10 radius, 10 miles, 10 kilometers radius. Okay, so GeoFire will always use the keys to communicate with us. So depending on the kind of key you use, you can optimize your database. Okay, so if I execute this line, if now I execute this on the let's open it here. I have to open it in the Firebase console. Okay, I will see each time when I execute the app, I will see let's see it here. 1 second, I will show you. When I execute the app, I will see an insert into the database section of locations. Okay, once I execute it, will appear some geoloc subset, and you will be able to see how it's created. Let's see. Now the app is executing, and I will log in, and then okay. Okay, so I don't have the user. I have to remember the user. Let's see, what user do I have? Okay, that's not going to help me. Okay, so I will change the database to start directly into the directly here. Okay, because if not, I'm not can remember what user I have, and the database is different. Let's check it out. So now, when it executes, if everything goes well, and it allows us to modify the database, you will have, as I said, there we have it. My log, that's the structure of GeoFire. They always put their own ID and the 2 positions we add. The error that appear, it has to do with the fact that I don't have that either. In any case, I will put it back there and not execute it here, because I will copy the code from there to here. Okay, this is the VC controller. Okay, and VC principal. Okay, let's copy it from here. It's this one. So the first step to add a position was a success. Let's put it here in view deploy. Okay. The following step is how we can query a position. Okay. So, well, we have to import it. Let me import. Okay. So to do that, I will show you how to execute a query. How we execute a query. Well, the same way as we do it with Firebase. Yeah, it doesn't really change a lot. We have to define 2 kinds of queries. We can either send in a coordinate region, which it will require. It's a query that requests all the positions, locations at a certain place. Okay, you can get location by putting the key. Okay, which is another option if you know the name. If you know the key itself, in many cases, if you know the ID of the user that you're looking for, you can just put this in there. Or we can use query with using the what I want to show you. It is looking for a position, yeah, in a certain where a key is in a certain radius. Okay, so it's this one for specifically. So if I choose this, okay, and I put I put enter, I will generate them all. We have to generate the then section or with completion, which is, let's say, okay, 1 second. So we have to define the query first. Okay, we have to create the query for later to use it. Okay, so first we define the query in this place, and we give it a name. Let my query equals. Okay, we first define the query. Query will be based on at a CL location specific and at the double radius. Okay, let's give it like 1,000 radius. If I'm not mistaken, it's meters. I am not sure, but well, we can try it. Okay, and the location I want to look for, let's make another location instead of this one. Let's put it here. Let's make a second location. My location 2, latitude 2, and longitude 2, and let's put here 2 and 2, and let's tell him to look for at the position. Let's change this a bit to 1 and to 5 to show you that it's not exactly the same position. Let's tell him to look into 10 kilometers the radius. Okay, and let's put this my location 2 here. Okay, so now I'm doing a query. Now it's telling me I'm not using it. I will use it now. That will look for all the positions around that that of my location 2. Let's put it search location. Let's put a good name, search location, and my location here. Okay, great. Now, to execute the query, we have to add a very similar to what we do in Firebase already. We have to, this is the query handler, okay, if we want to have a handler, okay, and we execute it by calling the my query dot observe. It has an observe. Okay, so we have an observe well, it should have observe event type. We have an observe. Okay, this observe itself, as you can see, it's just similar to the one that we use in Firebase. Okay, so we have here, we can define an event type of type key entered. I will explain what it means, the key entered. Okay, doesn't have it directly, so I have to import it. Okay, it's GF. Let's put GF event type into key enter. Okay, that key enter. It's not there too. That's great. That position, and we create we have to define the block, a string of a key string, and location, and it's a location here, and the code will come here. Okay. Okay, great. Great, it worked. Let's see if it doesn't fail the key enter. I will explain now what, well, it's still not finding the type. Probably it's, yeah, okay, fine. Now it should work. Okay, what does it mean, key enter? Okay, we have a number of alternatives. Okay, key entered, key exit, key changed, okay, change position. Each time the strength of GeoFire is in this option here. How it works. If it detects that a key entered the region that we've defined here, it will send us the key, specifically the key that just entered that position. So we can add here an observer to check and be constantly checking when an element enters the region, so we can make it much more dynamic. Okay, the following part is already what we get as a result is the key and the location itself. So we can print. I'm gonna print the key. We're gonna say found key. So like this key, and let's put with location. Yeah, 2 points. Location. Great. So now if I execute this, first it will insert it, and then it will return that result. So let's check it out how it looks here. First it will insert it another one. The problem is that it will insert it, sorry, because it has the same key. It will just update the position. Let's see how it updates. It will just update the position. If we want to insert a new one, we have to change the name of the key, the key name, of course. So I have a small problem. It says that it doesn't. Permission must be less than. Precision must be less than 23. Okay. Probably it has to do with the size of the search range. Okay, let's try it again. Well, again. Okay, great. So as you can see, I mean, it's hard to see it around here but it tells me that it found a location with key my location and the coordinates. So let's do a test. Let's put location 2. Okay, let's give it 30. Let's do it 40 and 2. Okay, let's do it like that. So let's create this. You will see how it really works, because if I do this, I will add a new location, okay, into the database, and then I'm gonna move it from the database. I'm gonna put it closer, so you see how it enters the radius and it works. Okay. First, let's see how this. Let's see how it injects it. Okay. Now we have 2 locations. Now it only returns one of them, because it is the only one near. Okay, so now I'm going to clean up, and I want you to see how once I change it to a similar position here, it should appear down there. So instead of 44, it has to be 34, 7. Let's put it like 6. Okay, just in case. Still, well, now it appears. Yeah, well, just appeared. Probably because I just entered the region. Probably the distance really is by kilometers. So it's 1,000 kilometers radius. So I just got into its radius. Okay? Yeah, that's nice. It worked. So yeah, it works. It doesn't show me all of them. It just show me the new one. Okay? That just entered. If we want to have another one that detects when it exits, I just have to define another a query putting here as this exits. For now, it's completely open. Whatever you want to do, it's sky's the limit. Okay. I hope the tutorial was effective. I'm sorry about all the mixtures, and keep subscribed to see more tutorials in Swift and computer all kind of programming systems. Thank you.